Welcome to Tuesday, the 4th of May, 2021. May the May 4th be with you. This Day Weather Podcast being brought to you by Chugwater Chili. New to the Chugwater Chili brand is its very own green chili seasoning blend. It's the perfect combination of spices so you can make green chili at home. Easy, tasty, and quick. Sprinkle on your eggs or make a smothered green chili burrito. Don't forget to go to chugwaterchili.com and use the code ChugwaterDon for 20% off of Chugwater Chili products. Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. Typical May weather coming as we work our way into the next several days, folks. It's just typical weather for this time of year. It's going to be a little bit of everything. Some of you will have clouds, sun, rain, snow, and thunder, and fog. All of those things will happen in many areas of the Western High Plains and Rocky Mountain West today and tomorrow. Temperatures quickly rebound Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday are the 2 days to circle on your calendar to get outside. We'll melt some more snow out of the mountains. We'll have a really nice warm up on the plains. However, we go right back into cooler and possibly wet weather Mother's Day weekend. And I think we're going to go into early next week with a pattern that is going to be quite cool. So we're still holding off on just getting into a consistently warm pattern. That's just not in the cards yet. And a lot of that was due to a cold April. And I've got more data coming in on the month of April for not only the United States, but the globe that I think you're going to find interesting. Here's today's upper level pattern. We have a trough that's up into the Gulf of Alaska. That's what's coming in this weekend. And then we have a cool northwest wind aloft. So this will keep our temperatures in the cool range today. And little weather disturbances and moisture are coming in this northwest flow. And with daytime heating, these little disturbances coming in that northwest flow will produce some showers and thunderstorms along and east of the divide. West of the divide, I don't see a lot of activity out of this pattern. For you West Slope folks, there's not going to be as much activity. East of the divide, the activity will be a bit more robust. And you can see that in the precipitation forecast along and east of the divide through Thursday. Pockets of rain showers and thunder will be around. Some snow up into the mountain areas. Nothing that's going to be terribly heavy, but you can see we get a little far off that divide there. You just don't really have as much precipitation coming. Now, let's talk about something that everyone's really going to be happy about, and that's going to be the Thursday-Friday time frame. These are forecasted high temperatures for Thursday, 60s, 70s in many areas. And then as we get on into Friday, high pressure builds really strongly. It's a sharp amplitude. And when it's a sharp amplitude like this, you just don't have the high pressure last really long, but there will be a wedge of much warmer air getting pushed ahead of this storm system that'll be coming in over Mother's Day weekend. And this is what's going to happen. Look at the heat down across central and southeastern Colorado, down into these areas here. Some really warm temperatures. Very warm temperatures up into Montana and eastern areas of Wyoming along and east of the Continental Divide there. But west of the divide, temperatures are going to be getting really warm as well. However, the party's over once we get into the latter half of the weekend and into early next week. Now, this is a global northern hemispheric picture. I'm showing you the forecast in the upper levels, bird's eye view looking down to the North Pole into this area here. And this is at 18,000 feet or 500 millibars. These are the maps I show you most of the time that shows where the lows and the highs are. And this is for Friday afternoon. What I wanted to show you here is, see these islands of low pressure and cold? They're all over the northern hemisphere, but they're breaking apart. In the winter, you tend to see one just big mass of cold temperatures and low pressure, but as the seasons progress, they get a little bit more fractured. But I want to show you these islands here because these islands of cold are what keep the weather pattern unsettled during the month of May into early June, because these little pockets of cold, well, they're going to wander into the western United States, and that brings temperatures down. April was so cold in the northern hemisphere that there's a lot of residual cold that's up there that we've just got to extinguish and get through during the month of May. And here's one of those pushes of colder air coming in Sunday into Monday. You're going to have some colder Canadian air coming into the Plain States and into the Rockies, especially along and east of the divide. With high pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, that just opens the door to Canada again. So yeah, we're going to have weather whiplash. We're going to warm up and then we're going to get colder, but the colder hopefully brings some damp weather. These are temperatures across the United States relative to average by noon Monday. And look at the purple. I know when you see purple here, you probably get a sad face. Yep, that just is going to delay a warm-up even a little bit longer, as early next week, starting on Sunday, will be cold. So we're going to have to go through the first half of next week with colder than average temperatures. Kind of what's happening this week. It's really a pattern very close to repeating itself. Precipitation doesn't look as good today with the system as it did yesterday, but along and east of the divide, from this weekend into the middle parts of next week, there should be some rain and thunderstorm activity. We're going to see this map change, but this shows you, again, and this has been a recurring theme this spring, the better moisture stays along and east of the Continental Divide. The western side of the divide just is missing out, and I think that's basically going to happen again with this system. Now let's talk about April. Some interesting things about April in the Northern Hemisphere. These are the temperatures relative to normal for the lower 48 states and Canada during the month of April. And you can see that wedge. We've shown you this before. That north-south wedge of really cold air during the month of April made April very cold relative to average for a large part of Canada and the central and western areas of the United States. If you look at Europe, they had a similar situation. So misery loves company. In fact, this really didn't make the news, but Europe had one of its coldest Aprils on record. And if you were to look in central England, now these are temperatures that go back, some of the most longest records of temperatures are in central England. They've been measuring since the 1860s there. And what's really interesting, the minimum temperatures, the low temperatures in central England were the coldest going back to the 1860s. So that's just not a cold April. That's a really cold April. And in the Northern Hemisphere, we had pockets of cold like that. You have pockets of warm. You always do that. You have pockets and islands of warm and cold across the globe at all points in time. But April was in parts of the Northern Hemisphere, Europe and North America, in some areas, really off the charts cold. And we just got the new satellite-derived temperatures for the lower troposphere. And April continues the trend we saw in March. Satellite measured global temperatures in the troposphere, that's basically from the surface up to when you get up to the 30,000 feet level or so, we saw temperatures globally for the second month in a row be below the 30-year average. Now, the last time that happened, and that was only for 1 month, was during the last La Nina that happened in 2018. And if you go back to the really strong La Nina in 2011 and 2012, you can see how much that cooled off the globe. This is not surprising. La Ninas make the globe cooler because the oceans are cooler. But for the second month in a row is something we haven't seen going back 10 years or so. So we'll continue to watch these trends as we go into the summer season. Don't forget to go to chugwaterchili.com. Use Chugwater Don for 20% off. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast.